Hello and welcome to another video in my YouTube channel. I am, did you know? Maybe not. I'm in Liverpool. I'm in Liverpool for different reasons. Spend the day between Liverpool and Manchester trying to sort out everything about Kiev, the work that I will be doing there, the traveling as well, and even the hotel. At some point I had no hotel. So I moved myself too late. Normally I sort these things out very quickly, but yes, I have an hotel 12 kilometers from Kiev, which is not too bad. And I'm flying to Kiev and leave Kiev 2 days later because I cannot come back any earlier because the flights were far too expensive. So that's sorted. I also wanted to sense a little bit how people in Liverpool are enjoying the days before the Champions League final. And I will be doing right now, after this, I will put the phone off and then I'll go out in town. This is the city centre where I am now, and I'll see what I find in pubs and first restaurant we have to eat, and then some beers, and I'll tell you what I sense. But so far what I'm hearing is a tiny bit of confidence that Liverpool can beat Real Madrid, and why not? Why not to feel like that? But there will be plenty of time to talk about the Champions League final. We have to talk about the Europa League final and Atletico Madrid and Marseille, but also about Arsenal's search for a manager. Let's start there, because there's been more and more stories coming out that Mikel Arteta, for instance, is in the short list for Arsenal, that Allegri is thinking of staying at Juventus. How about Rafa Benitez? Ivan Gazidis seems to like him, and etc. Now, I'm asking around, and we only get in little glimpses of what's happening. Nobody knows what's happening, and that's excellent work from Arsenal in terms of making sure that nothing comes out. We know little bits, and some of it I commented on a previous video when I talked about Arsenal. One, Mikel Arteta. Yes, he's in the shortlist. He has been contacted the same way that Patrick Vieira has been contacted. I did tell you that Patrick Vieira, it was a no, because he seems to think that his path stays in City. And Sky Sports have come out today with a line that basically he feels a little bit disappointed that it was almost like a token gesture, the contact that they made with him. Going back to Mikel Arteta, yes, he's in the shortlist. And I hear some doubts from some Arsenal fans and commentators about the possibility of him being in charge. Well, let me tell you a couple of things that I know. They are seriously considering a head coach. Not so much a manager, a head coach as part of a structure. That's known by most people. But Mikel Arteta is more than ready to be a number one. I've spoken to him many times about football. He's got a clear idea of what kind of football he likes, and it's based on possession, it's based on dominating, it's based on pace, it's based on positional football as well. A lot of things that are modern, that makes Mikel Arteta one of those, I wouldn't call him a thinker or anything like that. He's a coach. He's a guy that knows that through training you can get the best out of the players. He has certainly learned from Pep Guardiola a lot of things. Perhaps the number one is how much of your time and your energy to run a football team takes. But he started doing all this because he wants to be, Mikel wants to be a number one, no doubt about it. So he's in the process of being so. I'm pretty sure he feels completely ready for it. He knows he has more answers than questions, if you know what I mean. He thinks he can deal with everything that's required for a club like Arsenal. Why not? The step is brave for a club like Arsenal to hand over such an institution and a club with so many big players to somebody like Arteta. But when the likes of Pochettino told him, before he actually went to City, Pochettino spoke to Arteta and said to him, why go as an assistant? That was the question. And Arteta said, I'm going to prepare myself. and Pochettino said, look, what I've done is go straight into number one, because this is what Pochettino told Arteta, you have the personality and the ability to be a number one. Before Pep Guardiola arrived to England, he had lots of conversations with Arteta because he wanted to know about how everything worked, and of course he never thought twice about bringing Arteta into the coaching staff, and now he's ready to let him go if Mikel decides to do so. It's the moment to do so. He is ready. Stronger personality that you may think, with a clear idea of the football that he likes, he could take over Arsenal. Luis Enrique is still in the equation. It is true that he's demanding a big budget, not so much for him, but for him as well, but player budget. He would like to know how much is available because he feels there are big changes that have to apply to that squad. And Allegri, if he's available, Arsenal will listen to him, but Allegri is quite clearly negotiating with Juventus a future for him. Ivan Gazidis likes Rafa Benitez and the possibility of someone to bring stability to the club right away. I think Rafa will love the idea of managing Arsenal and will actually get the best out of that squad. He's doing a great job at Newcastle, but of course we all know the limitations of it. Not so much in terms of the passion from the fans or the stature of the club, huge club, but the budget situation is something that worries him. Newcastle is a club made to be a top 10, and Rafa Benitez is a manager to be a top 10 manager. So if I feel that Gazidis will go for it, but not so much perhaps the other two that are taking decisions, Sven and Raúl, and with that in mind, perhaps he will be out of that short list. But let's see what happens with Rafa Benitez, of course. It's not the only offer he has. Pochettino is not a possibility, but Chelsea have tried to make connection with him to see if he will leave Spurs. I've got the impression the answer was not leaving the Spurs, but he will like a stronger, I'm sure he will like a stronger budget to compete with the other top teams in the Premier League. So not many news there, but just wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse of what I'm hearing anyway. And the Europa League Final, that's obviously the 11 out of the last 20 finalists in European finals have been Spanish, so seeing Atletico Madrid there is great. And Atletico Madrid that practiced at the weekend with Getafe, a midfield that had the usual centre midfielders, playing in different positions of course, and having Koke in front of Gavi and Saul, with Thomas in front of the defence. So in a diamond shape, with two, of course, forwards in Griezmann and Costa. Now that's interesting because it suggests a little bit of a more brave approach than normally Simeone has, especially in finals. I still think those will be the ones, not Correa as it's been suggested, but we will see. I think Correa could come on later on, but quite clearly it's an Atletico Madrid that knows how to suffer. We'll have in Bresalico and Lucas the full backs, with Godin and Jimenez, for me one of the top centre backs this season, certainly La Liga, Jimenez, and of course Oblak, who is perhaps the best, according to Simeone, the best goalkeeper in the world, certainly one of the top three, with Ter Stegen, I would say, and De Gea. Anyway, that's Atletico Madrid. We know what they can offer. We know that they will be patient. We know that when they don't have the ball, they are confident. And Olympique de Marseille is a team that, with Rudy Garcia, what you've got is being aggressive without the ball, pressure high, quick counter-attacks as well, quick transitions, that if Atletico Madrid concedes possession to Olympique de Marseille, it would be difficult for Marseille to actually break into those counter-attacks. But Payet is having a great season. He didn't play against Gingham during the week, but he's ready to play. And of course, Thauvin, who was at Newcastle and didn't show as much, he's on the right-hand side, even though he's left-footed, one of the talented players of Marseille, and certainly one of the key players of the last couple of months for them, assisting, scoring, great pace, dribbling. it'll be good to see him battle against Bersalika and whoever stays on that left-hand side of the midfield, perhaps Gavi. So, favourites here, Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid quite clearly feel that they can not play well, not necessarily play well, but they will always have a chance with those, again, quick transitions and long balls sometimes to Diego Costa. Griezmann playing the best football of his career. In terms of stats, no doubt, he's intervened in 40 goals for Atletico Madrid this season, 27 goals, the rest have been assists. And since the arrival of Costa, he made a jump in terms of quality and influence in the game. Costa, he's been injured a couple of times, and in and out of games sometimes as well, but doing a lot of work for Griezmann. For me, favourites, there won't be many goals in it, and the fact that Atletico Madrid can actually defend with their lives and have got a goal in them always makes them favourites. Looking forward to it, and I hope you enjoy, and I'll give you my thoughts after the final. Cheers.